Get ready for a Super Lig showdown with a surprising twist. We look at Kasimpasa taking on Goztepe. Just glance at the table, and you'll see something remarkable. Both teams sit on exactly the same points. Yet, their recent journeys have felt worlds apart. Can Goztepe shake off recent fatigue and tough losses on the road? Or will Kasimpasa leverage their newer form and the energy a fresh coach often brings? Prepare for a match that history suggests could be bursting with goals. Their past meetings are often fireworks displays with plenty hitting the back of the net. We're cracking open the data here to reveal what the numbers really predict for this intriguing battle. Let's dive into the potential starting 11s and what that tells us about their styles. Kasimpasa is likely to field a 4-3-3 formation, aiming for width. Goztepe, on the other hand, could opt for a 3-4-1-2 system. What do the analytics reveal about their approaches? Kasimpasa shows resilience, often coming back when trailing. They excel at wide attacks and are sharp on the counter. Interestingly, Goztepe is also highly effective on the counterattack. They pose a significant threat from attacking set pieces and are skilled at carving out goal-scoring opportunities. Watch out for Goztepe in the air. However, both sides are prone to costly individual errors. Goztepe struggles particularly when defending against wing play and counterattacks, while Kasimpasa finds it tough to deal with set pieces and through balls. This clash of styles could mean a game decided by lightning-fast breaks and aerial duels. Player availability is a key factor, and both teams have several absences due to injury and suspension. Goztepe appears particularly hard hit, with a significant number of players, potentially up to 7, sidelined by injury. This means expected starters, including key defensive and midfield figures, won't be available. Kasimpasa also has concerns, with a couple of important defenders suspended, forcing changes in both fullback positions. These widespread absences will undoubtedly impact tactical setups and could test the depth of both squads, potentially making Goztepe's challenge even tougher given their higher number of unavailable players. As we've seen, these teams are practically mirror images of each other in the league table, separated by little more than goal difference. But a closer look at their home and away records tells a different story. Goztepe has been exceptionally strong when playing at their own ground, a real fortress. However, their away form is a sharp contrast, marked by a concerning number of losses. Kasimpasa has a more balanced record at home, but hasn't been quite as dominant as Goztepe has been at their place. Crucially, this match is being played at Kasimpasa's stadium, which might just help balance out Goztepe's generally stronger season record. The venue could be a deciding factor here. Let's examine Kasimpasa's recent performances. Looking at their last 6 league matches, they've shown a mixed bag of results, winning 2, drawing 2, and suffering 2 defeats. Their most recent outing was a battling away draw, where they impressively fought back after being 2 goals down at halftime, showcasing great character. At home, their form in the last 3 matches includes 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 loss. Before that, they secured a victory in their previous home game. A consistent theme in their recent fixtures? Goals have been quite frequent at both ends. Can they find more consistency on their own turf? Now, how has Goztepe fared recently? Across their last 6 matches in all competitions, they've secured 2 wins, 1 draw, and 3 losses. Worryingly, they've lost their last 2 league fixtures. One of these was a particularly brutal away encounter that saw them concede 6 goals to their opponent's 3. This recent dip in form, especially their struggles defensively when playing away, is a key point to consider. Generally, their away results this season show a trend of more losses than wins or draws. Their defensive vulnerabilities on the road are certainly highlighted by these numbers. Taking a deeper dive into the statistics from the last 6 results for both teams reveals some interesting patterns. Kasimpasa has been scoring around 1.8 goals per game on average and conceding about 1.3. At home in these recent matches, they've been finding the net more often, averaging 2 goals per game. Goztepe scores at a similar rate, around 1.7 goals per match. But here's the crucial difference: they've been conceding significantly more, averaging over 2 goals against per game recently. And this figure skyrockets when they're on the road in their last few games, shipping around 3 goals on average. This stark difference in goals conceded, especially away from home, flags a potential defensive vulnerability for Goztepe that their opponents might exploit. The history between these two sides is truly fascinating and often points towards excitement. Goztepe has held a strong advantage in their recent encounters against Kasimpasa, winning an impressive 4 out of their last 6 meetings. Kasimpasa has managed just 1 win in that time. And get this, their last 2 league meetings have featured some truly remarkable scorelines, including a stunning 5-0 victory for Goztepe at home, and even a 5-0 thrashing away in the cup. This trend of high scores is consistent. Over 2.5 goals has landed in their last 4 games against each other. This head-to-head history screams goals and strongly suggests that we should expect plenty of action in the final third. Let's break down the goal-scoring picture from those head-to-head clashes. Goztepe hasn't just won more often, they've often dominated the scoring, netting 15 goals compared to Kasimpasa's mere 4 across those 6 recent meetings. Goztepe has found it easy to score against Kasimpasa, finding the net frequently both home and away. And here's a surprising stat. Kasimpasa has found it incredibly tough to score against Goztepe on their own turf in these recent head-to-heads, managing just 1 goal in the last 6 meetings there. While first halves sometimes saw draws, Goztepe still tended to find the net earlier than their opponents. This historical analysis points heavily towards Goztepe being the more dominant side in this specific fixture, particularly when it comes to scoring goals. Height could definitely play a role in this encounter. Goztepe's defenders and forwards are noticeably taller on average than Kasimpasa's. Their goalkeeper also possesses a significant height advantage. On the other hand, Kasimpasa's midfielders are slightly taller. Given Goztepe's noted strength in aerial duels and Kasimpasa's identified weakness defending set pieces, Goztepe's height advantage in key positions, particularly in defense and attack, could be a real weapon, especially from free kicks and corners. Keep an eye on set plays. Looking quickly at the age profiles of the potential lineups provides some minor insights. Goztepe appears to field a slightly younger attack and midfield on average compared to Kasimpasa. Kasimpasa has a more experienced goalkeeper. The defender ages are quite similar across both sides. Overall, while there are minor differences in specific areas, there isn't a massive age gap that would scream a definitive advantage for either team based on this data alone. It's unlikely to be the deciding factor in the match outcome. When we look at the average player ratings across the season, Goztepe holds a slight edge over Kasimpasa in most positional areas. Their defenders, forwards, goalkeeper, and midfielders all have marginally higher average ratings according to the data. While this isn't a massive difference that guarantees success, it does suggest that Goztepe's players have performed just a touch better on average throughout the campaign. It hints at a slightly higher baseline level of performance, which could be significant in a tight match. Who are the individuals most likely to make a difference on the pitch? For Goztepe, Romulo is their main threat, leading the team in goals and tied for the most assists. Tijanic is the creative engine, generating chances with key passes and also contributing assists. Heliton stands out as their primary aerial threat. For Kasimpasa, Nuno da Costa is the go-to-goal scorer and has earned the most Man of the Match awards. Hadradinovic is their top creator, making vital key passes. These are the players you'll want to watch closely, their moments of brilliance could decide the match. On the flip side, some players feature more often in the negative statistics. For Goztepe, Anthony Dennis commits the most fouls and has the most yellow cards, making him a player to potentially target. Bokel has had the unfortunate distinction of an own goal. For Kasimpasa, Mortada Ben Juanes leads in yellow cards, while Nuno da Costa, despite scoring goals, commits a notable number of fouls for a forward. These players might be worth monitoring for potential cautions or for offering set-piece opportunities to the opposition due to their disciplinary records or defensive miscues. Let's analyze when the goals tend to happen for these teams throughout the season. Kasimpasa scores frequently between the 30th and 40th minutes, and again between the 50th and 70th minutes. They show a clear vulnerability late in the second half, conceding most often between 80 and 90 minutes. Goztepe scores often between the 40th and 50th minutes, and interestingly, they find the net even after the 90-minute mark a significant number of times. They concede goals fairly spread out across the second half. Both teams see more goals scored in the second 45 minutes than the first. If you're watching this match, stay tuned until the final whistle. The action, and potential goals, might be delayed. Finally, let's look at the seasonal totals for goals. Both teams have an extremely high percentage of matches finishing with over 1.5 goals, meaning goals are rarely scarce. More importantly, for betting purposes, over 2.5 goals has landed in around 70% of Kasimpasa's games this season, and in over half, around 55%, of Goztepe's matches. When you combine this consistent seasonal tendency towards higher scoring games with their explosive head-to-head history, the data points strongly towards a match with multiple goals. If the numbers are anything to go by, the over 2.5 goals market looks like the most compelling trend from the statistics for this fixture.